O Great Spirit, Namaste. Saints and sages of all times, of all places, Namaste. O ye pathmakers of old, Namaste. Ancestors, ancestors, ancestors of our bloodlines, of our lineages, of all that we attune to, Namaste. O ye powers that be, most beloved Ishtadevata, in all of thy names and all of thy forms, Namaste. Sweep clear the path, that our time together be blessed, that it be meaningful, that it be enlightening for each of us. That which we need to hear be heard, that which needs to be spoken, that which needs to remain silent, but heard, is thus. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Welcome to my heart. Welcome to our Sunday Sangha. The road between Bangalore and Mysore in India begins very smoothly. And if you're from the West, you get on the highway, and the road is a highway. It's covered with cement. And it's a divided highway. And as you leave town, there's 2 lanes going one direction and 2 lanes going the other direction. And there's housing on either side. There's buildings, there's office buildings, there's shops, there's housing. Lots and lots of people. You settle in the car, let the driver do the driving, and everything looks as you would expect it to. You could be any place in the world, but you're in India, Mother India. And you think, Mysore, it's not very far. You'll be there in an hour. But the driver says, no. Count on 3. Count on 2 to 3. Depending. You drive, and all of a sudden the highway goes from 2 lanes in each direction to 1 lane in each direction. All right, it's okay. Fewer houses along the way. Then suddenly, without any warning whatsoever, the road drops off. No warning. Boom. You're on dirt road. You say to the driver, I thought this was the road from Bangalore to Mysore. It is. It's the right road. Don't worry. And you see along the road young children, you see people, and you see houses, if you will, built from plastic covering from shipping wrapping. The cows begin to come out and start across the road. And so, in India, when the cow comes across the road, you wait for it to cross. Go a little further, and all of a sudden, you're back on a 2-lane highway. this happens again. Go down the 2-lane highway, you're on a 4-lane highway. You can think, okay, we're getting there, we're getting there. And then without any warning, the 4-lane highway becomes a dirt road again. Finally, you think to say to the driver, what is this? What is this? Why is this? This is karma. This is karma. Well, this 4-lane highway, this is where the people live who are affluent enough that they can pay the taxes to build the highway. The 2 lanes, a little less rupees, a little fewer rupees. The dirt road, well, you can see, just look out. These people don't have rupees to build a road. Now, the mind says, well, what about the state? What about the combined resources of all the people? No, that's not how we do it. The individual resources of the community determine the road. You get into a big, long discussion, that doesn't make any sense. It takes too long, why would you interrupt people's travel? You shut up. And in your travels in India, you find the same thing over and over and over again. And you realize, it's karma. It represents the karma of our lives. We drive along and we think this is how it's going to be. The road is smooth, vehicles in both directions, running water, air conditioning, heat, a roof over the head. It's comfortable. And the mind says, this is how it is going to be. This is how life is. This is how my life is. And then all of a sudden, something happens. And the road, which was covered, which was built, which has beautiful cement on it, beautiful cement, that you could drive really quickly, becomes a dirt road. And sometimes, if the weather is just right, the road becomes a dirt road with mud. And it becomes very hard to get through. And there's big tire wedges there. Or big boulders have fallen down. And you realize this is your life. Most of your life, you're driving along and everything is as it is. And then there is a time where the road will seem to suddenly drop off with no apparent reason. There's always a reason. We're walking through time. You and I, we live in time. We live in kala. Kala is cyclical. It's not linear. We think in the mind it's linear, but it's not. All you need to do is study and see and watch. Watch the earth. Time on the earth plane is cyclical. Spring, summer, fall, winter. Spring, summer, fall, winter. As the cycles go, so your cycle of life goes. Now, where's the difficulty? Where is the obstacle, problem? Where's really the big problem here? The problem is when you think the dirt road is the way forever. The problem is when you think that the 2-lane highway is the way forever. The problem is when you think the 4-lane highway is the way forever. And you have not learned to adjust, adapt, and acclimatize. And your mind becomes weary and overwhelmed when the karma comes in. I was talking to a young man the other day, and he was quite emotional, I would say, and quite hurt. He really wanted a wife. He really wanted a wife. And right now, at this time, he's having difficult relations with his woman boss, and he doesn't have a wife. He doesn't have a girlfriend. He doesn't have a lady friend. He doesn't have a woman in his life that is a romantic interest at this time. Hear me, at this time. But how was he feeling? He was feeling as if this was never going to happen for him, as if he was so weighed down by the burdens of life that it was never going to happen, that he was never going to have the joy that he was seeking. Now that, my beloved, is one of our problems. It rained here last weekend. A lot of rain. A lot of rain. There was a lot of flooding. And there were a few minutes where it felt as if this rain was never going to stop. And the flooding was never going to go away. It was going to just continue. Not quite like the monsoons in India, but similar. Where's the problem? The problem is the way we experience this karma as it comes into our lives. I know for this young person, he said, I'm never going to have a wife. You know, I'm halfway through my life. I'm 40-ish. I'm not going to be able to have what I want. And I'm so discouraged. Now there's a solution to everything in Kriya. And he said to me, and the reason I'm talking to you like this today is he said to me, well, I'm discouraged by what you've said in the noon meditations. And I said, oh. What did I say wrong? What did I do that you would be discouraged? That's not what these are about. What did you hear me saying? Well, that I might not get everything I want in this lifetime. I might have to wait and work on it and work on it and work on it until the next. That's fair. I never thought that was a discouraging thing, but I suppose it could be heard in that way as discouraging. So let me try again. Anything you want, you could draw into your life. It is a matter of your effort, and it's a matter of your concentrated energy, and it's a matter of time. Your effort, your concentrated energy, and time. And that's the karma. That's the karma. Mark, my husband, pulled out a photograph of us last night. Ran into a photograph of us, I don't know, it was 44 years old, something like 45 years ago, something like that. I looked mighty different. I looked mighty different. And if I want that dark hair again, and I want the different shape of the body again, there's a lot of work to do. And it won't come, this will not come in this lifetime. It's not going to come back naturally. Time and effort and intent. But let me give you a mystical practice. It's an assessment. How do you assess where you are in achieving that which you want? Well, the fellow said, well, I don't have any good relationships with women. And I have a woman boss that's just terrible. And so I said, well, now, have all your bosses been terrible? No. No, I've had really good relationships with my bosses. It's just this one. Okay. How are your relationship with your mother? Good relationship with mother? Yes, yes, yes. Any siblings, any sisters? Yes. Good relationships with them? Well, yes. While they were here on the earth, yeah, I did have good relationships with them. Okay. Good relationships with women? Did you ever date? Oh, yes, yes, yes. But none of it ever worked out. Now, what you have here is, oh, you have had good relationships with women. Oh, you have had good relationships with bosses. You've just reached a dirt road for a short while. And walking on that dirt road, driving on that dirt road, can be muddy. It can be hard. It can be discouraging. It can be dry. But it's going to end. And what do you do along the way? What do you do along the way? Well, the mystical practice is that you ascend the chakra ladder. You are feeling the effect of Saturn, the effect of denial, the effect of confinement, the effect of I don't have enough, the effect of feeling unloved or of people being cruel and mean to you. And I will tell you that it is definitely, there are people on this earth who have a great capacity to be carelessly cruel. Don't be like that. On the earth you can be cruel without realizing it, but certainly do not ever be cruel intentionally. And if you have been, seek out a way to forgive, to seek forgiveness from the other, internally first, and then, if needed, externally. People become sad. They become depressed. Some people become so depressed that they feel that they have to leave the earth, and they take their lives. They end their lives. But there is called what we call the law of Utu Dharma. U-T-U. Utu Dharma. One of the most fundamental, important principles in all of Kriya Yoga. And this says that the forest can only become so dark before it becomes light again. The problems can only become so difficult before they become light again. In time, they will become light again. It's why in yoga it is said, if someone does take their own life, we are to remind them of their goodness, to pray for them, not to be judgmental. Because what happened is they experienced a moment in time and they lost their awareness that it will get better. And they said, I can't do this anymore. It's not a suggested alternative. But should it happen to someone in your life, be loving and kind in your thoughts and your prayers. That is oftentimes an extreme reaction to a difficult karma. But when the mind becomes depressed and the body becomes depressed and the experiences of life become depressed, we must know how to do something. And one of the things to do is to find some true solitude. Not sitting alone out of feeling that being alone is depressing, but finding the solitude that allows you to turn inward, that allows you to ascend upward, that allows you, if you will, to walk in nature, to become one with nature, to see and hear life around you, to turn inward and see the goodness. Now, the example I gave you of the young man I understand. He really wants a wife now. He didn't say that he wanted a wife that he loved. He didn't say he wanted a wife that was going to be pleasant to live with. He didn't say that he wanted a wife that was going to bring joy to his life. He just said he wanted a wife. But see, he thought, because so far he had never had what he wanted, he thought that he would never get that. Now, I tried to show you, and I'm going to kind of unveil it a little bit more, but what I said was that, oh, I have this lack. Now, I have to say, have I ever had this in my life? Ever? Would have been different if he'd said to me, oh, my relationship with my mother was awful. I've never had a girlfriend in my life. I've never had any kind of love. I've never had this, never had that. Then the answer is, wow, all right, that's a piece of karma that one must continue to work through. Method is still the same. It may take a little bit longer. So what's the method? What are the methods? To free yourself from the confinement of whatever the karma is that confines you. It is not, my beloved, what confines me. That I've got my own set of karma that is confining, that I have to work through. And I can't look at you and say, oh, this is the confining karma that he has. This is the confining karma that she has. Oh, if she would only do this. No. It is for you to decide and to discern what you want, what is most important to you. In all of this universe in which we live, which is so ephemeral, this physical body will be gone very shortly. Yeah, don't get upset about it. Shortly is a blink of an eye. It may be here 30 years, but that's not a very long time in the realm of timelessness. What is it that you are seeking? How are you seeking to be free? What is going to make you happy? Another person came to talk to me about wanting to be free, wanting to be free, wanting to be free. And, my goodness. Again, speaking the words of my guru spoke to me, he always said, be careful that you don't rip your life apart because of your idea of freedom. Usually what we're seeking is freedom from the confinement of the karma. And so we must discern carefully, harmoniously, what action needs to be taken, and take it wisely. You always have a choice. Even in the midst of the greatest confinement, there is a choice. There's a choice of how you react. There's a choice of your attitude. Now, let me try to be really clear, make sure I got this. Back to the young man. He's gone from a 4-lane highway to a 2-lane highway to now he's walking on this country road. And he feels bereft. I think that's a good way to say it. He feels bereft. He feels alone, lonely. And because of that, he's not able to see the beauty around him, the beauty of life around him. If he stops and he says, I have had goodness. I have had good relationships with women. I've had good women friends. I have good women friends. The well's not dry. It's not dry. Oh, oh, maybe it's not the way that I wanted it or the form that I dream of it in, but the well is not been dry. May feel dry now, may look dry at this moment, but I have this in my life. Now, another great mystical secret is to say he said, I don't have it. He wants to learn to play music, and his family never had the money to give him lessons in music. And so he has had this desire to play music his whole life, but hasn't been able to. He had the thought that he wanted to play music. That opens the door. Do not ever forget that. He had the thought. Ah. He'll create music some way. He'll learn somehow. And he'll carry that thought with him until the time comes that he has a teacher, until the time comes that he has the ability to learn, until the time comes that he can make the kind of music he dreams about. But he had the thought. You must be able to think the thought to free yourself. You must be able to think the thought to say, well, yes, I would like to have a wife. Yes, I would like to have a husband. Yes, I would like to have someone that I can live with or share my life with. However you want to share your life, it doesn't matter. Yes, I would like to have another friend. What do I need to do to make that happen? You have the thought. The thought that the fact that you've had that thought, that you have reflected enough, that you've had the thought, oh yes, I would like this. I would like to bring it into my life. You have opened the door to that karma flowing into your life. There's a rather interesting book called May You Be the Mother of 100 Sons, and written by a journalist who used to write, if I recall correctly, for either the New York Times or the Post, I don't remember. And her husband was stationed in India, and so during that time she decided she was going to write a book and go around India and interview women about their lives in India. And so it's a story of just interviews of women. And the title comes from a blessing that is given in India. May you be the mother of 100 sons. Well, she was in one village and had interviewed a number of women there. And she asked the question one day, do you think you would ever run for the village chief? That you would ever run for the village council? That any of you, looking at all the women, would ever try to become part of the village council? And she writes back that they looked at her and not one of them had ever had the concept, the idea had never occurred that that was a possibility. And after she said it, they all looked and shook. No, 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 no. Why would we want to do that? Why would we want to do that? It was a clear, and it's worth getting the book if you can find it in the library, to see clearly how the confinement of the karma that we have, especially if it's group karma, it really can block the thought of freedom. Don't let that happen. Anything that you want to do, that you want to bring into your life, you can. Find something that's worthwhile. Make it happiness, make it joy, make it contentment, make it wisdom, make it compassion, make it unselfish love. Something that is meaningful, that will be meaningful today, tomorrow, 10 years from now, next lifetime, 5 lifetimes. Now, I'm going to go back and give you a method, and then we're going to meditate. You feel a lack. It doesn't matter what the lack is. Let's say that you're feeling a lack of keep with the young man. A lack of love in your life. You want a wife. So what do? Well, you need to climb up the chakra ladder, right? We have at the base of the spine is Saturn, the structure, the confinement. But I go up one and I have Jupiter. That's laughter, that's expansion, that's fruit. I climb up again. And what do I have? Oh, that's the Mars chakra. That's energy, that's fire, that's candles. Then I climb up again. Venus. Venus is love. What symbolizes Venus? Flowers, music, sweetness, honey symbolizes Venus. Oh, and then you move up to Mercury. And what symbolizes Mercury? Books, wisdom, knowledge. And then to the Sun Center, the Sun-Moon Center. Why, that's enlightenment. It's a lotus. All you need to do is with your mind's eye say, well, yes, I'm really feeling this lack. I would like to have love in my life. And I'd like it to be like this. The first thing is to be clear about what you want. And don't be like the man, the man who wants the wife, goes to his guru and says, I want you to give me a wife, and I want her to be like this, and I want her to be this tall, and I have these kind of eyes, and she's going to have hair that's just as beautiful as the moon, and her face is going to be as soft and beautiful, and she will be able to dance and sing, and she will just love me. The guru says, well, why don't you just try to find the wife, a good wife, the wife that's best for you? No, she's got to be like this. She's got to be like this, Guruji. It has to be exactly. Because I've spent a lot of time, a lot of energy, and I know what the perfect wife for me is. You sure? Yes, I'm sure. Positive? Yes, I'm positive. Okay. A few hours later, a young woman walks in the ashram. Looks exactly like the wife that the disciple described. Beautiful hair, beautiful eyes, beautiful skin. Oh, just a lovely looking woman. And then she opened her mouth and said, "Hello, I'm nice to see you. I'm so glad to see you. Good day, sir." And the disciple said, "Oh my gosh, I can't live with that." And the Guru said, "I told you, just ask for that which is best for you." So, what do? You have the lack. You need to make the space first in your life. You know, you want love in your life, make space for it. Make time for it. Make a place for it. Maybe you make a small altar in your home. You clean a small space out, just a small space, clean, nothing else in it. And you put a symbol of love in that spot. A plant, a flower, a drawing of a plant, a drawing of a tree, something that symbolizes beauty and love to you. You put it there. And every day you feed it. You come up with an affirmation. Every day in every way, I am waiting, I am accepting, I am ready for love to come to my life. Every day in every way, I am accepting the love that comes into my life. Every day in every way, I am accepting the love flowing into my life. Every day in every way, I am accepting the love flowing into my life. You go past your altar every day, you sit down and you meditate, and you see the altar. You take that into your meditation. You take it into your meditation. You lift it up in your meditation, and you feed it. Every day in every way, I am accepting the love flowing into my life. It is a progressive statement. It is an affirming statement. You are accepting love however it flows in. You're not saying, "I don't want this type of love. I don't want that type of love. No, I only want this." No, 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 no. You're saying, "Yes, yes. However it comes, I will accept the love that is flowing into my life and let it fill the lack." There was a man who wanted to go to college more than anything, but he was the oldest, and he had to get work, and he had to take care of his brothers and sisters. So he went to the library. He took out books, and he studied at night. And on weekends, when he had spare time, he went to the library and studied and read and read and read and read everything he could read. He read history, he read science, he read biographies, he read fiction, he read philosophy, he read comparative theology, and he studied and studied and studied and studied and studied. They say at the end of his life, he had only a few more books left in that library to read. He had filled the lack. He had found a way to fill the lack. The library gave him a certificate for the person who had read the most books in their history. It wasn't a diploma from a university, but it filled his lack. He wanted the university degree was a symbol of the wisdom he wanted, the knowledge that he wanted, the affirmation he wanted. It was a symbol of what he wanted to know about life, and he could not have it in the form that he thought he wanted it, but he filled it anyway. He found a way to fill it anyway. And this is how you fill the lack in your life. Whatever is missing, whatever it needs to be filled, this is how you fill it. You feel that you want love, create the altar with symbols of love and bring love to other people. Bring your loving kindness to other people. Now, I need to say one thing here that's quite important. This young man said to me, my bosses are being mean to me. And I know it is them, not me. No, that's not accurate. You are relative to their unkindness. And when you no longer magnetize that, it will no longer come into your life. So here's the method. You forgive them. You forgive them for everything they have done to you. That takes away the magnetism. Forgive them. I forgive you for everything you've said, you've thought, you've done to me. In your thoughts, your words, and your deeds. I forgive you. May the hurt be healed. May the karma be dissolved. You begin by facing east and go counterclockwise. Each of the 4 directions. And then you say, please forgive me for everything I have done, in thought, in word, in deed, intentionally or unintentionally, knowingly or unknowingly, to hurt you. May the hurt be healed, may the karma be dissolved, and thus it will occur. And the last thing that you can do, and there are many more, the last I will say today, they are hurting you. You are allowing that. You are relative to it. And it's hard when people are mean and they're nasty and they're cruel and they're controlling and you name it. We've all been there and experienced that in our lives. Most of us, I think. But try this. It works. It works. And nobody has to know you're doing it but you. Before you go into a meeting, before you go into an encounter, before you go to work with someone whom you are having difficulties with, you bow to them. Bring them up in your mind's eye, and you bring your hands together, and you bow. Namaste. The divine within me bows and honors that within you. Namaste. You're in a meeting and some nastiness occurs, or you're at work and some nastiness begins to occur. Bow mentally. You do not have to bring the hands together. You can, but bow mentally. You demagnetize yourself. You cannot be angry at someone whom you're bowing to. You cannot, the anger, the meanness, the cruelty, whatever that angular energy, whatever form it takes, comes towards you, right off, right off, right off. If you're bowing to them, you've lifted the energy to another chakra. You've lifted it to your heart chakra. You've lifted it to your sun center. You're saying, I bow and honor that which is within thee. And that, my beloved, I've given you the outline, skeleton of several very important mystical practices, moving up the chakric ladder, saying, here's the lack. I want to free myself from that lack. What would that fullness be? What's a symbol of that fullness? A friend of mine one time, really wanted a husband. And she has one now. And but what she did was she took a room in her house that was empty, that she had her son had moved out of and was not going to come back home. And instead of filling it with as room for herself, she primed it. She took primer and painted the walls with primer. Emptied the whole room out, cleaned it, and painted the walls with primer. And then she put a sign on the door, and it said, "The man's room." And every day she walked past that room, and she'd say, someday, the right man is going to come, and that's going to be his room. And you know what? I think it was about 3 months later, the man came. And it wasn't very long after that before that was his room. She had made the space. Now, she did it literally in her home. I'm saying make the space in your inner world for that which you wish and feed it. Prime the room. You know, my seminary advisor, and I'll close with this, my seminary advisor, Swami Hastanandaji, also was looking for someone that she was looking for a long-term relationship. But she was a Pisces, and this was a long time ago. Not this time when Saturn was in Pisces, but the last time Saturn was in Pisces, 30 years ago. We were talking, and she said, well, you know, I know because of where Saturn is right now, I'm not going to find love at this time. That's okay. I'm going to prepare for it. I'm going to make myself softer. I'm going to make my personality better. I'm going to make myself the type of person that I would want to love. And when the time is right, the right person will appear. You know, bless her. That for me was wow, what a great thought. Wow, you can say, yes, this is the blessing of astrology, the science of the Horus Shastras. Now is not the time, but I'm going to use this time to prepare for when that comes. And so we will move into our meditation now, and you can soften your karma. You can improve your life. You absolutely can. You have the capacity to. And if you feel like you don't, I tell you, you do. Study everything and everybody around you that has what you think you want. Ask people, you know. Watch them. Watch what they do. Watch how they speak. You know. Do they speak kindly to their spouses? Learn to speak kindly to everyone. Are they gracious? Learn to be gracious. Are they cultured? Learn to be cultured. Are they kind? Are they compassionate? Learn to be like that which you are seeking. And it will come to you faster than you know, but always be willing to accept it as it comes, in the form that it comes, until it comes in the form that you think you wish. Namaste ji. Namaste. Namaskar. If you will, sit with your spine erect, please. Sit with your hands in the Om Mudra. And turn your head to the left, exhaling twice. Bring the head back to the center and begin to watch the breath. Use the sipping breath to draw the energy from the limbs to the trunk. From the trunk to the spinal column. from the base of the spine to the sun center. And move that energy out in front of you as a golden light. And sweep it around to the left, behind you and in front of you. Wrapping the body in a golden light 3 times. And now ascend upward. As high as you are able. Ascend to the high place above the building, above the continent. Ascend, ascend to the high place. Reaching your high place of meditation. Sit in a comfortable meditation posture and begin to watch the breath. Focusing at the sun center. Focus at your mind's eye. On the next inhalation of the breath, see the most beautiful object of beauty to you at this moment. The form of the object of beauty arises in your mind's eye. See that object of beauty. Sharpen your mind's eye so the object of beauty is clear. Touch the form of beauty. Smell the beauty. Hear the beauty. Taste the beauty. Draw that object of beauty into your sun center. Bringing it directly over the spinal column. Feel the beauty melt down your spinal column as golden light. Melt down the spine, radiate into the trunk of the body, into the limbs of the body. Om Shri Lakshmiye Svaha. Om Shri Lakshmiye Svaha. Om Shri Lakshmiye Svaha. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. 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 Feel that beauty radiate through every cell of your being, filling every cell of your being, and radiating out into the universe. Together, let us send that beauty as golden dewdrops of bliss upon Mother Gaia, that her beauty may radiate forth, that this blessing that we send heal and fill all that needs to be filled upon Mother Gaia. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. O ye powers that be, thou knowest better than we that which is needed. We ask that our prayers, our petitions, our light pour forth upon the earth plane and soften the hardened hearts of all sentient beings and fill the lack and bring the balance. May the lonely find comfort. May they see solitude and aloneness is light and joy. May they find blessings. May they find and see the goodness of all life. O most beloved Lord of life, pour forth thy blessings at this moment to those who are leaving the earth plane, to those who are coming from the earth plane to the earth, to all of those who are in physical and mental pain. There is so much need here. We ask that you fill it as we send forth our light, our Yoga City, our blessing. Join with us that this stream become a river, become a torrent of rain of Anandic bliss. Gentle rain falling where needed. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti. Shanti, Shanti. Om, Om, Om. May the bliss of Ananda fill every cell of your being. May those empty and hurt places be full. May you again feel the joy, the oneness, the bliss of life. Om Shri Lakshmi Svaha. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hold this feeling state of beauty with you. Carry it with you and radiate it forth as you walk through each day of your life, as you walk through each breath of your life. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Namaste. Namaskar. Be thou blessed. Thou art blessed. Become an ever greater blessing unto all of those who enter your aura. And thank you for the blessing of your presence, for your Yoga City, for your joining today, for your sharing your meditative energies. Namaste.